your boy DJ Akademiks, and check it out. So finally we got a couple of rappers who are speaking up about what the fuck is going on in Baltimore. Now, this time we have Philadelphia native, that's Meek Mill. He's speaking about his interaction with the police in the past and also at least giving some insight on the plight of what's going on in Baltimore. Now, if you guys don't know, he's had his own run-in with the law before. Remember, he's been on probation for like 5-6 years, and then he got arrested again. Or basically his probation got revoked once he started sneak dissing the judge and the PO basically on Twitter and in songs. Now, this is what he said on Twitter because he responded to Donald Trump, who was talking all type of fuckery, talking about, listen, hey, President Obama, you're kind of to blame. This is what goes on under your watch. Now, this is what Meek Mill said. Meek Mill said this. It's clear. At Real Donald Trump been racist, saying our African-American president? It's plain to see we won't miss you when you perish. He then said no disrespect to the Caucasian community, but most of the older white men his age come from a racist era, and they still racist. And I don't condone what's going on in B-more, but our people been through so much pain. It's hard to control your emotions. Cameras are finally bringing to light what's been going on for years. So imagine the lies that's been told that destroyed black families. 2 cops came to court, and basically he was talking about his personal cases. He says 2 cops came to court and said, I chased them with a gun. I was found guilty at 18, been to jail 4 times for it, and still on probation at 27. If you don't know, that's 9 years. He then went on to say, they almost ruined my life. Luckily, I was strong enough to overcome it, but it's thousands who are not. I can't wait to do CNN I Report. Even with dirt bikes, some cops intentionally chase the bikes at high rates of speed to make you crash and kill yourself. He then tweeted out finally, he said, listen, and tearing down your own neighborhood is not the solution. It only makes the system look down on us even more as blacks. Let's pray for Baltimore. Now listen, man, because Meek Mill also took to Instagram and he addressed a couple more things. Because in case people had it fucked up. Now he posted a picture of his hand and he posted some type of bruise or some type of scar. And he said, listen, permanent handcuff scars from when I was 18. Can you imagine cuffs stopping your blood circulation and your blood dripping on the handcuffs? I thought it was somebody pretending to be cops trying to kidnap me. Then he also posted another picture with, goddamn, this nigga look real. He looked like he's crying. One of his eyes is swollen shut, kind of, almost. Also has a band-aid like Nelly, except it's below his eyebrow instead of above. And he said this, man, lips swollen, stitches in both swollen eyes. One of my braids ripped out. Goddamn. I weighed about 130 at the time, and I was found guilty of assaulting 2 cops. It's clear to see I was punched and stomped by a few officers or cops. If I wasn't blessed the way I am, I still would have hatred in my heart towards cops, but I forgave because I know all cops ain't the same. 2, and he put in quotations, black cops got on the stand and lied and cried about how I chased them down with a gun and tried to kill them. I caught that case at 18, and I was stripped of my freedom and taken away from my family for the same case, and I'm still on probation. 1 step away from jail if I make one mistake. I can't blame my judge because the laws labeled cops as expert witnesses, and it was cops against a black kid, and she's supposed to believe a cop's testimony first. I never got a chance to speak to my judge about this, from young man to woman, and I hope she sees this to help other young men that won't be able to make it through what I make it through. After I caught a case, I had no choice to hustle in the streets to get a good lawyer, aka a good liar, to help me get my freedom. Now I'm going to say this, man. To be honest, a lot of people, and we do have a lot of opinions about Meek Mill, right? We think he's kind of borderline simping with what's going on with Nicki Minaj. We've criticized him before about talking crazy on social media about the police. But one thing we can't deny is that, listen, he has had real legitimate experiences with the police, and in most cases, and I won't say most, in some cases you could say, yo, listen, well, maybe if you weren't running from the cops. People love to say that. Maybe if you weren't running from the cops, maybe if you didn't have a gun, maybe if these situations didn't happen, but still, in these situations, and if you guys have personal situations with cops, you realize, man, the cops will abuse your rights even if they have somewhat of a leeway to do what they're doing, right? Like, for example, I told you guys, cops pulled me over, and then they legally searched the car. Did they have a right to pull me over? Absolutely. Did they ever have a right to search the car? No. Now, of course, with him, it's a little bit more extreme because it's talking about your freedom. It's talking about getting you convicted. It's talking about putting you in a system. And basically, 9 years after the fact, you're still on paperwork. Okay? And Meek Mill, you could pretty much argue that he's a different person today than he was 9 years ago. But that paperwork is following him. Now, how does that relate to Baltimore? Pretty much, I think what he kind of painted and highlighted is really the mindset that a lot of African Americans have with the police. When they see these interactions with police and how police kind of look at them like it's kind of like a predator versus prey thing, they harbor these type of feelings and these emotions. So when a situation like this culminates in the case of Freddie Gray in Baltimore, people who you might say like, yo, why are you going so hard? Why are you rioting? They've had similar experiences and they're like, yo, listen, I'm fed the fuck up. Now, finally, we're all fed the fuck up. We're all going to do something about it. So listen, man, what do you guys think about this, man? That's Meek Mill sharing his story about his interactions with the police. Listen, as I said, man, and I'm glad he mentioned this because I would definitely call him out. You know I always do. Like, if he had said, like, he's the innocent guy, I mean, he said in most of the cases, listen, yeah, they did what they were supposed to do, but they did more than they were supposed to do, right? They did more things to really fuck me over and keep me on the paperwork, which I am right now. So you guys get in the comment box, man. Listen, you guys put your stories and react to what he's saying. Maybe some of you guys think that nigga you shouldn't have no gun. Maybe you think you shouldn't be running from no cops. Legitimate points if you're going to make it. I just want to hear your justification. Get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like. Definitely subscribe. Goddamn, Meek. Wipe that look off your face. I'm used to the Meek Mill that's stunting on the gram. What about the niggas that pull? What about the Meek Mill that's pulling out them foreigns? Pulling out them Wassel belts. Right? But of course, everybody got a pass. Get in the comment box. Make sure you guys follow me on social media at Akademiks. I'm out.